It's awake. The angel of destruction. Yveltal. Ash's face turns to one of horror, his thoughts clouded with fear, and his body becomes frozen. He remembers what he saw in the mirror world, his friends and himself turned to stone, the empty, drained forests, and the darkened sky that covered the whole region. Now the beast is in his world. He has to move, he has to stop it. But it's fear, it's holding him back. Alain realizes this and takes matters into his own hands. Charizard goes in for an attack and Pikachu and Greninja assist him. They are strong in their own right, but Yveltal is able to push them back due to his insane power. Yveltal then steps back from the battle and begins to charge up and attack, and Dash's face becomes even more horrified. This is the beam he saw in the mirror world, and he knows exactly what's going to happen next. He then tells Alain they need to get in the air now. Alain and Ash are about to hop on Charizard, but the two of them then realize Marin is trapped behind some of the rubble left behind from the ultimate weapon. They try to get her out, but they are running out of time, and the attack is going to be unleashed any minute now. Marin tells Alain that it's okay for him to leave her here, and that she's just happy he's back to being himself, as that was the only thing she ever wanted to see. She tells him she knows he will save her and everyone else, so it's okay to leave her here. With tears in his eyes, the two get on Charizard and fly into the air. Just then, Yveltal unleashes an Oblivion Wing. The entire city, its people, its Pokémon, everything has been turned to stone. Sawyer, Shauna, Tierno, Trevor, the Team Flare Grunts, and the members of the Mega Four, and Clement have all been turned to stone. Ash and Alain look on in horror as Yveltal leaves the now stone-covered city to destroy even more. Charizard then lands on the tower and Alain goes over to Marin, and his face becomes one of sadness, anger, and horror.
This is all my fault. If I hadn't let Lysander use me the way he did. If I hadn't been such an idiot. This could have been avoided. How could I have been so stupid?
This isn't your fault. Lysander never cared about it being specifically you, Alain. He would have found someone else to take your place if needs be. This was always going to happen, so there's no need to beat yourself up over this.
Everyone in this city. They're all stone. Their future snatched away from them.
I've lost people too, Alain. So, our objective is clear. We stop Yveltal, and we take back this world's future! We're in a forest somewhere in Kalos and AZ. Serena, Bonnie, and Sycamore, despite not being anywhere near Lumiose, have felt the power of Yveltal's awakening. They hope that everyone is safe and state they need to hurry and make their way to Xerneas as fast as possible.
My worst fear has come to pass. Perhaps this is my divine punishment for my sin. And now the whole world will face its consequences.
The group is confused by AZ's statement, but AZ tells them that he will tell them everything. The truth about Kalos, its legends, and how things have come to be the way they are.
When Kalos came into existence, so did its two legendary Pokémon. As society began to thrive on a new continent, a great battle broke out between the two almighty creatures. One desired life in the future, and the other wished for an eternal now carved into everlasting stone. With the help of the region's people, the Pokémon of destruction was sealed away, and for 5,000 years it has remained dormant. 2,000 years later, the same region became enveloped in a great war, all due to the selfishness of man. The king at the time wished to end the war, a cycle of hatred, but was hopeless in doing anything. One day, the king was given a tiny box, and inside was his beloved Pokémon, who had lost their life on the battlefield. The king began to construct a machine to bring the Pokémon back, but it required a massive power source. That power source was Yggdrasil. The man had brought his Pokémon back through the machine, but the man had become consumed with rage. A hatred of the world consumed him, and in his anger, he transformed his machine into the ultimate weapon and fired it at the region. The war came to an end, but at what cost? The lives of so many people and Pokémon were lost, and the legendary Pokémon that was supposed to grant Kalos life had transformed it into a shell of its former self, sealed away for eternity. The king's Pokémon saw what he had become and left him. All left was the husk of a once great man, who was doomed to walk an eternal road of hopelessness.
The king. It's you!
Yes, because of me the world is in the state it's in now. Honestly, it would be better for the world if I was dead.
Mister, I could never possibly understand your feelings, but I do know one thing. Without you, this world would be gone. Sure, you made mistakes in the past, but now you're helping us save it. Without you, we wouldn't know where to find Xerneas, and we wouldn't be able to save this world. So don't say the world would be better off with you dead, because that's just not true.
Thank you, young lady. For your words, they are very kind.
Eventually, the group makes their way to the heart of the forest, where a white tree rests in the middle of a spring. There it is, the legendary Pokémon Xerneas. AZ tells them for thousands of years it has slept here, where the weapon was fired during the war. AZ tells them the only way Xerneas can be awakened is if someone of truly pure heart reaches in to its slumber. Bonnie then remembers her strange dream. Was that Pokémon Xerneas? Bonnie asks to try and she reaches out to Xerneas, saying that humanity may have done bad things to it in the past, but now they need them. That if they are a Pokémon of life, they can't allow all the life in this world to disappear. As Bonnie pleads for its help, so too does Sycamore and Serena. AZ watches in awe as he sees how the future of humanity could potentially accomplish what he and his people cannot, to walk hand in hand with Xerneas, the Pokémon of life. Ash and Alain have continued to follow Yveltal, who had made his way to the Kalos desert. They eventually stand right in between the Pokémon and the rest of the region, ready to stand their ground. They then send out both their full teams and prepare for a full-on assault against Yveltal, with Charizard, Pikachu, and Greninja leading the charge. However, Yveltal is no easy opponent to take down, and as the battle goes on, some of the Pokémon are hit and turned to stone, but they keep pushing forward to ensure the world's future. However, Yveltal is just too strong, and eventually all the Pokémon with the exception of the 3 leading the team turn to stone. The 3 remaining Pokémon stand their ground. However, Yveltal is pushing them to their limit, and any minute now they'll surely fall. Ash and Alain look on in horror and prepare to return their weakened Pokémon, when a Moonblast suddenly hits Yveltal and takes its attention away from Pikachu, Charizard, and Greninja. It's Diantha, and beside her are all the Kalos gym leaders. Viola, Grant, Karina, Ramos, Valerie, Olympia, and Wolfric are all here to assist Ash and Alain in Kalos' biggest fight yet. Ash smiles at the scene and the battle against the legendary Pokémon Yveltal continues. The gym leaders are certainly putting in a good effort. However, Yveltal is just too much of a powerhouse and is dominating the battle. However, it is beginning to become slightly weakened, but nowhere near to the point where it will go down. Yveltal then stops attacking and begins to charge up another massive Oblivion Wing, and the gym leaders take this moment to attack. However, it's no use. Yveltal won't go down. A few minutes later, an Oblivion Wing turns the gym leaders and Diantha, as well as their Pokémon, to stone. Pikachu as well has also been turned to stone, and this breaks Ash, but he has to keep moving forward, to keep pushing. It seems that the more life Yveltal takes from the world, the stronger it becomes, and so its aura and strength become even stronger. The battle continues and Ash and Alain are exhausted, and so are Greninja and Charizard, but they continue to push forward. They won't give up till it's over, and it's far from over. Eventually, Yveltal charges up another Oblivion Wing, and Alain and Charizard push Ash and Greninja out of the way. Ash and Greninja look on in horror as Alain and Charizard face down Yveltal alone. Ash and Greninja get back up, but Alain tells them to stay back. Alain! What are you thinking?
This is how I make things right. Plus, we can't exactly let both of us go down there. Otherwise, who's going to stop this thing? I know you and Greninja have more in you. So take this freak out for me if this fails. I don't have my Keystone, and Charizard doesn't have his Megastone. But this should at least buy you two some extra time.
Alain? No!
I was used by Lysander. But I can't dwell on that any longer. Lysander used the anger I had from my dad to make me follow the path he wanted me to follow. And I was the fool that listened to him. This thing, that's the result of my stupidity. And now I'll correct my mistakes. We all want a future, and I won't allow Lysander, this freak, or anyone to take that away from us.
Alain orders Charizard to use a flamethrower, and the attack counters Yveltal's next Oblivion Wing. The collision goes on for a while, and the flamethrower is actually holding its own. Alain and Charizard's resolve is strong enough to illuminate the world. They want a future, and they want a tomorrow. However, eventually Oblivion Wing gets the advantage and directly hits the trainer and Pokémon, turning them to stone. Now it's just Ash and Greninja, staring down Yveltal. I won't allow this to go on! I don't know why you want to destroy this world, but I do know one thing. Everyone has fought to preserve the world they love and entrusted their hopes for a tomorrow to me. Sawyer, Tierno, Shauna, Trevor, Professor Sycamore, all the gym leaders I battled, Marin, Bonnie, Serena, Clement, and Alain. I will carry on their wills, and I will stop you! Ash and Greninja are shining bright blue, with a golden aura around them. This is the true length of their power. This is the true might of their resonance. The battle continues and it quickly becomes super intense. Not only does Greninja match Yveltal in speed, but also matches it in strength. Greninja's attacks significantly damage Yveltal, and Yveltal is starting to struggle. Eventually, Greninja summons a giant golden water shuriken, even bigger than the one at the Kalos League. Yveltal summons another Oblivion Wing and the two attacks collide. Ash and Greninja are lying on the ground, their aura completely drained, defeated. Yveltal is still standing. Ash looks on in horror. Have to move! Have to keep on fighting! Never give up till it's over! Never give up till it's over! I refuse to believe that it's over! Ash uses all of his strength to stand up, willing to even face Yveltal down by himself, but he quickly falls back to the ground. It's over. They've lost. Ash looks on to the bright light that will soon envelop him, the attack that represents Yveltal's will for an everlasting now. However, a bright light then consumes the desert once again. Grass begins to grow, and where water once flowed becomes bodies of water. All the people who had turned to stone are released from their prison. Ash feels a warmth come over him, and so too does every other person in Pokémon there. Gentle and elegant steps are heard as Ash watches in awe as Xerneas makes its way to confront Yveltal. Serena and the others are next to it, and Ash and Serena exchange an understanding nod. Due to its weakened state, it doesn't take too much effort for Xerneas to gain the upper hand. It envelops Yveltal in its light, and in a matter of seconds, Yveltal returns to its cocoon-like state. Xerneas then unleashes a wave of energy that spreads across all of Kalos, freeing all those who had been turned to stone. Ragnarok is over. AZ approaches Xerneas and smiles at the Pokémon.
Thank you for giving this world another chance.
Xerneas merely looks at AZ and then disappears in the blink of an eye, now willing to protect the world it had once been sealed away from. Sycamore then sees Alain, and tears start to form in his eyes as he walks up to his son.
Alain, listen.
I know exactly what you're going to say. We might never be able to get back to where we once were. But I think I'm finally ready to talk things out, Dad.
I would love that. That's all I've ever wanted.
AZ looks up to the rising sun and then spots something that catches his eye. It's a Pokémon. Not just any Pokémon though. His Pokémon. The rest of the group, Ash, Sycamore, Alain, Bonnie, Serena, Diantha, and the gym leaders look on as they see the man fall to his knees, as he embraces his long-lost friend.
Poet, it's been 3,000 years. Finally, you've come back.
The two of them become enveloped in a bright light and disappear.
Where did they go?
They were finally able to move on, and now can finally rest.
The group then makes their way back to Lumios, as they have a lot of work ahead of them. Ragnarok might be over, but they still have a tomorrow they have to build together.